Hello. I wanted to take a minute to talk about something real quick. Well, first of all, yeah, sorry for the abundance of videos. I just been really bored. I should. I'll leave you alone after these next two for a little while. Anyway, so I am autistic on the autism spectrum, and I am what you would call someone who is on the higher functioning, or is it the lower functioning? I don't know, I tend to get those two mixed up a lot. Anyway, I wanted to say a little bit about autism, because, yeah. So, my autism is very similar to that of Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. That would be my best description to someone who isn't too familiar with it, because everyone mostly knows who that is. There are a couple of pros and cons for sure. As I've gotten older, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to cope with it, essentially. But some of the cons include me kind of not thinking through things very well. Like, I say something, then I don't realize what I said until after I say it. That's a huge, massive con. But it's also kind of a pro as well, because I don't really have a filter. But at the same time, also a con, because I still don't have a filter. It's a lot. As I've gotten older, it's a lot easier, but that's still one of the things that's kind of like, eh. A pro is that I am very intelligent with the things that I'm passionate about, and I love talking about the things that I'm passionate about. You all know this is on my channel. That's the reason why I'm doing so. I am very good at doing so. Every other thing, not so much. Science is my area of expertise. Math, English and language arts, not so much. Because, again, I'm a lot better at this now, but not really the best in terms of social skills or social anything. Same with, like, reading and writing, but that's probably due to dyslexia, too, which is a topic for a whole other day. Well, actually, no, it's not. I have dyslexia as well as dysgraphia and dyscalculia. Dyscalculia is pretty much dyslexia, but with math. Dysgraphia, I think, is with writing, and then dyslexia is with reading. The reading is the better of the three subjects that I'm pretty good at, but that only depends on the words, size font, and the type of word. I cannot read Old English at all, and I can't read it in, like, tiny font. Like, 12-point font and bigger is about as much as I can read. I can't read really much anything smaller than that. Let's see here. Yeah, so I do stuff a little bit differently than the average person would, which would explain a few things in my videos. So, if you see me acting a little bit strange or a little bit different than a normal person would, that is why. Again, I'm a lot older now, I can cope with it a lot better, and I know how to work at it. And another con would be... Actually, I think that's about it. So, autism is more of a strength than a weakness if you know how to do it right. All autistic people, everyone that I've met, because I went to a charter school for people with autism, really great. It was one of the greatest decisions that my parents have ever made. All of them had their own different things, but we all had one thing in common, and that was that we all have worked through our disability, and now we can live a regular life as any other normal person would, with just a few little changes there. Unfortunately, that wasn't always the case in the elementary school days. That's one of the reasons why I want to be a mentor figure for elementary schoolers, to give them the things that I never had. It was unfortunately very awful. My childhood needs to be forgotten, but that's in the past. I need to focus on the future now. But the point is that I have grown and learned from my disability, much like any other disabled person will tell you. A disability is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's just like It has pros and it has cons like everything else. My autism is more of a strength, as it gives me some things that normal people would not do, such as I am very good at time management, multitasking, skill tasking, and kind of just be like keeping very good in terms of the scheduling, things like that. But on the downside, the slightest bit of thing kind of throws me off. Again, I'm a lot older now and I can do that, and I can cope with that a little bit differently. But the point is that a disabled person is not necessarily disabled. That just means that they do things a little bit differently. Oh yeah, that also means the word retarded is 5 times more offensive to me and other autistic people than it would be the average person. I don't have a problem with you saying that in terms of like describing something like, ugh, this pen is so, I don't have a problem with that. It's when you actually use it to describe a person or other living thing. That's the problem. That's the thing that I have a problem with. So just be wary of your profanity language around autistics, because the R word is extremely offensive. Yeah, I cannot stress that enough. Happens all the time. I have to say that all the time. Granted, most people acknowledge the fact that you probably shouldn't call someone that anyway, but still wouldn't hurt to be a little bit safe. This also means I get to make autism jokes, much like how a black person can make racist jokes.